please ensure the loan repayment will. While I was at work, an unexpected email suddenly appeared in my inbox. Confused, I hastily reached out to Greg, only for him to reply in the calmest voice imaginable. "Oh, sorry about that. I've fallen for someone else and decided to start a new life with her." His words froze me in place. As if that weren't enough, he went on to explain that he planned to take the luxury car, recently purchased under my name with a loan. Despite my pleas, Greg ignored me, abruptly ended the call, and became unreachable. In the end, he vanished with his mistress, leaving behind a mountain of debt in my name. As a mother to our 10-year-old son, I never imagined finding myself in such an unfair, cruel situation. My mind went blank. I didn't know what to do. "My name is Hannah. I'm 35, the same age as my husband, Greg. We were a family of 3, Greg, me, and our bright 10-year-old son, Ryan." From an early age, Ryan had shown remarkable intelligence. He would read articles on the computer and ask for my opinion on complex topics far beyond his years. Greg, on the other hand, was unstable. He could never hold down a steady job, even though I worked full-time and constantly worried about our future. He had, to my surprise, managed to keep a stable income for the past 3 years. Lately, Greg had been talking about making memories as a family, which led us to decide on buying a $35,000 camper van. However, because he couldn't pass the finance company's credit review, I ended up taking the loan in my own name. On the long-awaited delivery day of the camper van, I received an abrupt email from Greg. "Since the loan is in your name, I'll take the delivered van. You can handle the repayments." Stunned, I called him immediately. He picked up, sounding indifferent. "Well," he said, "I've fallen in love with another woman and decided to date her. It was supposed to be just a fling, but it turned serious. I'm thinking of starting a new life with her. Bye." He mentioned the divorce papers we'd once argued over, declared that he'd be filing them, and hung up without hesitation. That call shattered me. It was the first time I truly realized I'd been betrayed. Subsequent attempts to reach him went unanswered. When I returned home that evening and checked the drawer where the divorce papers had been, they were gone. So was Greg, and in their place, I was left with the burden of a $35,000 loan on a car I didn't even have. No matter how many times I emailed or called him, Greg never responded. Ryan eventually noticed something was wrong. After dinner one night, he looked at me with worry. "Mom, what's wrong? You haven't been eating much lately. Are you okay?" Yeah, maybe I'm just tired," I said, forcing a weak smile. When people lie, they look up to the right," he said matter-of-factly. "Lying is bad. I've noticed Dad hasn't been home for 3 days. Did something happen between you two?" His sharp words hit me like a knife. I took a deep breath, realizing I could no longer hide the truth. I told him everything. "I see, it's just like Dad to do something like that," Ryan said quietly. "Aren't you sad?" "No," he shook his head. "I kind of knew it already." He tried to appear strong, but I knew deep down he must have been hurting. I silently apologized to him in my heart, determined to keep moving forward for his sake. But my body betrayed me. Stress and exhaustion began to take their toll. One day, during a training session at work, I suddenly couldn't stand up. My knees gave out, and I crouched down, trembling. "Sorry, I can't stand up right now. I need to take a break," I whispered. My colleagues rushed over, their voices full of concern, but everything went dark. When I regained consciousness, I found myself lying in a hospital bed. The doctor informed me that I needed further examinations, and I was admitted for treatment. "I feel so pathetic," I thought. "It's just emotional stress, isn't it?" As I stared at the drip in my arm and the stark white ceiling above, tears began to fall on their own. Just then, Ryan burst into the room, his usual composure gone, his face pale with worry. I quickly wiped away my tears. "Mom, what happened? Is it serious? You're not going to die, right?" "Of course not," I said softly. "I would never leave my dear son alone." That's good, really," he sighed in relief. "The teacher called me and said you were taken to the hospital." I was so scared, my heart nearly stopped. Ryan was mature for his age, but in that moment, I saw the frightened little boy behind his brave front. I felt a fierce determination to recover, for him. But my illness turned out to be more serious than I thought. The doctor spoke gravely. "You should have surgery as soon as possible. Please make your decision quickly." I followed his advice. After the surgery, a month passed before I was finally discharged. When I got home and opened the mailbox, I found a letter demanding payment for the car loan. The repayments should have been deducted automatically, I thought, panic rising in my chest. I rushed to check my bank account. The balance, once $20,000, was now only $33.90. Greg did this. My hands shook. I want to confront him, but I can't reach him. What am I supposed to do? The van's gone, I can't even sell it. After Greg left, everything that could go wrong did. My heart sank deeper every day. Seeing me so defeated, Ryan gently placed a hand on my forehead. You look pale. Are you feeling sick again? You don't seem to have a fever, though. I'm fine physically, I said quietly, but your father not only took the car, he also emptied all our savings. I can't work right now, and we have no money. I don't know what to do. I see. Then I'll deliver newspapers and look online to see if there's any work I can do, Ryan said earnestly. Hearing my 10-year-old son speak so maturely rekindled my resolve. This wasn't the time to crumble. Sorry for worrying you, I said, smiling through my fatigue. I can't afford to be weak anymore. I'll change my mindset and do whatever I can. Ryan smiled back, but then his expression turned serious. Let's make a plan to get the car back from Dad. What? How could we possibly do that? The camper van's in your name, right? Yes, but what about it? Then maybe we can use that to our advantage. He leaned closer, whispering a bold idea I never would have imagined myself. My eyes widened in disbelief. But I don't even know where your father is. That's fine, Ryan said confidently. We can find him using my phone. A month earlier, during a family hike, Ryan, who was normally very dependable, had briefly gotten lost. After that incident, we'd bought him a child's phone with a GPS tracker, one both Greg and I could access. With this app, Ryan explained, I can see where Dad is in real time. He's been moving around a lot. Oh really? I frowned. But even if we find him, what if he just talks his way out and disappears again? Ryan gave a sly grin. Don't worry, I've already taken precautions. What did you just say? To my astonishment, Ryan had taken matters into his own hands while I was in the hospital, and achieved something unbelievable. I can't believe such a smart, capable child came from me, I thought, both amazed and proud. He had even discovered the existence of Greg's mistress. All right, I said firmly, let's teach your father, the man who betrayed us, a lesson. Okay, Ryan's eyes sparkled, let's start right away. Together, we began to prepare for that moment. With Ryan by my side, I thought, I'm invincible, bring it on, anywhere, anytime. 3 days later, my phone rang. Ah, it's me, please, I need your help. Oh, who might this be? I asked, feigning confusion. Don't play dumb, it's your husband, obviously. The police are questioning me because of you. At this rate, they might make me come to the station. Help me. Oh, is that so? I replied coolly, just wait right there. Ryan and I immediately headed to the location, a forest park not far from our home, known for its camping area. There, Greg stood beside the camper van, being questioned by the police, his face twisted in confusion. A mix of anger and pity welled up inside me. I sighed, then asked the officers to let us talk privately. Feeling embarrassed by the attention of onlookers, Greg quickly motioned for Ryan and me to get into the car. Inside sat his mistress, legs crossed, glaring at us. I ignored her completely. Sorry about that, Greg muttered, thanks for coming, but why did the police show up all of a sudden? I don't get it. That's because, I said evenly, I filed a report for the missing camper van. What? Why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? My car was stolen. Greg blinked in disbelief, as though the idea of theft between spouses was impossible, but the world isn't so forgiving. You filed for divorce, remember? I reminded him, so we're strangers now. You took a stranger's car without permission, that's a crime. Ryan crossed his arms, his tone sharp. Exactly. Greg stammered, but I didn't steal it, I just borrowed it for a bit. Oh, is that so? I said, well, I'd like to use my car now, would you mind returning it? I extended my hand, reluctantly. Greg placed the keys in my palm. Once I confirmed the car's return, Ryan spoke up quietly but firmly. Hey, Dad, Why did you abandon your family and run off with this woman? Greg froze, scratching his head awkwardly. His mistress, Mandy, gave a smug little laugh. It's because I'm more attractive than your mother, she sneered. Look at me, you can tell, right? He fell in love with me and left his family. Quiet, Ryan said coldly. I didn't ask you, old lady. Dad, answer the question. Her smirk vanished instantly, but Greg still couldn't speak. If you can't explain, Ryan continued, then I'll just call the police back and have them arrest you. Wait, okay, I'll talk. As the truth spilled out, we learned that Mandy had joined Greg's company 3 months ago. They had been drawn to each other during the welcome party for new employees and soon became involved. Not long after, Mandy found out she was pregnant, and Greg decided to start a new life with her, leaving us behind. Why did you take the camper van? I asked. I quit my job and thought about selling it for cash, Greg mumbled, but it seemed like a waste to sell right away, so we decided to go on a trip instead. Wait, he suddenly asked, his brow furrowing, how do you even know all this? Remember when Ryan got lost on our hike? I said. After that, we installed a GPS app on both your phones. You must have forgotten, but I didn't. It was then I learned from Ryan that he hadn't actually gotten lost that day. He'd only pretended to, just so we'd buy him a phone. I suspected something was off with Dad, Ryan admitted, so I came up with this plan to keep track of him. I couldn't help laughing in disbelief. You really are a terrifyingly smart child. I will never become an adult like you, Dad, someone who betrays the people who care about him without a second thought. Greg froze, unable to respond. The harsh truth Ryan had spoken left him looking utterly defeated, a pitiful man stripped of excuses. In contrast, watching my 10-year-old son stand firm, unwavering and sincere, filled me with strength. I felt it deep inside. As a mother, I couldn't lose, not this time. Also, I continued, return the $20,000 you withdrew from my account. Right now, that money was our joint property. I don't have to return it, Greg muttered. No, you do. That money wasn't ours, it was mine. I'd been saving little by little since before we even married. You always quit your jobs halfway through, remember? We never really saved anything together. The realization that Greg and his mistress had already squandered the $20,000 hit me hard, but strangely, it also brought relief. For the first time, I felt truly glad to be free of him. So that's how it is, I said quietly, but you should know, taking my car and my money without permission is a crime. What? You sent the police away already. It's over, isn't it? I only said we'd talk, I corrected him calmly. I never said I'd withdraw the complaint. In fact, I'll be adding theft of my savings to the report. Mom, Ryan said, holding up his phone, should I call the police now? It'll only take one button. Mandy, Greg's mistress, had been sitting silently until that moment. Suddenly, she tried to bolt from the camper van, but the instant she opened the door, a sharp scream tore through the air. Standing just outside were her parents, faces red with rage, eyes blazing. Startled, Mandy stumbled backward as they shouted. I'm sorry, don't be so angry, but, why are you here, Mom, Dad? I called your parents beforehand, I said evenly. What? Why would you do that? The truth was, during my hospital stay, Ryan had gone to Greg's office and tearfully said, my dad left home with a woman we don't know, and my mom collapsed. Seeing Ryan's sincere distress, Greg's co-workers immediately suspected Mandy, who had quit around the same time Greg disappeared, and gave Ryan her parents' address. Apparently, Greg and Mandy had been far too affectionate at work, even posing together at the new employee welcome party like a couple. After learning she was living with her parents, I'd gone to visit them myself, showing them the photo, explaining everything. They had been furious. So today, I'd simply called them and asked them to wait nearby. How could you do this to me? Mandy shouted. You're the worst. I don't want to hear that from you, I replied sharply. That's my line. By the way, your stomach seems rather big. When is the baby due? In 3 months, she answered, without thinking. 3 months, I said, eyes narrowing. That doesn't add up. You and my husband only met 3 months ago. That means. Greg's eyes went wide as the truth dawned on him. Wait, what are you saying? Are you stupid? Mandy snapped. Don't you get it? It takes 9 months to have a baby, which means this child isn't yours. You've got to be kidding me, Greg said, his voice shaking. Mandy smirked bitterly. I almost got away with it, but you're too naive, you never see through anything. Honestly, you're pathetic. Don't mock me, Greg roared. My life is ruined because of you. What were you thinking? The two of them began hurling accusations back and forth, an ugly, desperate quarrel that no one bothered to interrupt. Meanwhile, I quietly called the police again and explained the situation. As darkness fell, the forest park lit up with the flashing red lights of approaching patrol cars. Greg's voice trembled when he finally turned back to me. No, really. I was wrong. I was truly wrong. I'm sorry. I'll work hard. I'll never cheat again. Just please, don't let them arrest me. Ryan's eyes were cold. Dad, people don't change that easily, especially lazy people like you. Exactly, I said. Ryan's right. I can't trust you anymore. Reflect on your actions, and pay for them at the police station. If I get arrested, I won't be able to pay you back, Greg pleaded. Is that okay with you? I don't mind, I said coolly. Pay me back after you've atoned for your sins. Take your time, I've already arranged a place for you to work. Between Ryan's child support and the $20,000 you stole, you'll have plenty to pay off. Finally, I turned to Mandy. You might think you're just a bystander, but don't forget, you're an accomplice to theft. Be prepared. If Greg can't repay what he took, you'll be the one to pay instead. Mandy's face drained of color. She turned desperately toward her parents, but they only glared. We disown a daughter who brings shame to others, her father said coldly. And so, Greg and Mandy were taken away together in a police car, both silent, both defeated. Thanks to Ryan's quick thinking and determination, we'd managed to bring justice to Greg and his mistress. Though they were released soon after, they faced heavy financial penalties through my lawyer. I claimed $20,000 in damages, and Greg agreed to pay $500 a month in child support for Ryan. I even introduced him to a subcontracted factory connected to my company. His wages would be docked automatically to cover what he owed. I sold the camper van, freeing myself from the burden of the auto loan. Since then, my health has improved remarkably. I've regained my strength and focus at work, while Ryan continues to help with chores and errands like a little adult. Now, more than ever, I'm determined to keep moving forward, so Ryan can live his life freely, following his dreams without ever giving up.